Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Hi, my name is Courtney Derler. I am the Community Coordinator here at eFolder, and I am your host for today's event. Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to have you. Oh, there we go. So welcome to the eFolder Expert Series. This webinar series brings together experts from eFolder staff and partner community for deep dive discussions on key services and technical topics. So today's topic is quick tips for interacting with technical support. And today we are joined by Tom Brown, eFolder support engineer and Shadow Protect team lead. Before we go through today's agenda, let's first cover a few housekeeping items. Today's session is being recorded. The recorded version of the webinar will be made available on eFolder's YouTube channel. We will also make copies of the slides available to those who registered for our event. With over 100 people registered for today's session, we have put all participants in listen-only mode. You can enjoy the audio portion of today's event by either streaming it on your computer or by dialing in over the phone. Questions are strongly encouraged throughout, and we have planned a special Q&A section at the end of today's discussion. But you may submit your questions as we go along, so please do. So today's presentation follows a very logical flow. After introducing our expert guest, we will go over some of the common instances where tech support is needed, how and what to include to correctly submit a ticket, common ticket types and their various priorities, setting expectations with your support technician, some additional and invaluable tips by Tom, and finally we will open up the floor to questions from everyone in the audience. So now I'd like to give a warm welcome to our expert guest, Tom Brown.
Welcome. Hello.
Hi, Tom. So, Tom is located out of Daytona Beach, Florida. He's one of eFolder's technical support engineers as well as our StorageCraft team lead. He has experience as a database programmer, network engineer, and systems administrator. In his free time, he loves to cook, go kayak fishing, exercise, and spend time with his grandchildren. Welcome, Tom.
Welcome. Thank you.
And I just wanted to share a little bit of Tom's humor. It's very relevant. It's very relevant to today's webinar. I got this directly off of his Facebook. I hope he doesn't mind. A businessman dragged himself home and barely made it to his chair before he dropped exhausted. His sympathetic wife was right there with a tall, cool drink and a comforting word. "My, you look tired," she said. "You must have had a hard day today. What happened to make you so exhausted?" "It was terrible," her husband said. "The computer broke down and all of us had to do our own thinking." Could you imagine that? Crazy. So thanks for that, Tom. Now I'm going to turn things over to you, and you're going to speak a little bit about eFolder support and get started with our quick tips.
Hello and welcome. Thank you, Courtney, for asking me to do this today. I'm hoping that we can all get a little bit farther in our knowledge of how eFolder support works and how to best work with us as a company and you as our partner. My name, as Courtney said, is Tom Brown. I have been with eFolder for 3 years. Prior to that, I've been in IT for 25 years. Prior to that, I did work with an MSP at various levels, and prior to that, I was worked for the state of New Mexico, where I'm originally from, and retired from the state. I've got, like I said, 25 years of experience doing network systems. Started out real early with Digital Equipment Corporation prior to working for the state, so I've been around for a while. Wanted to go over, the main reason we're here is to go over the support model and how eFolder support works. A lot of people don't really understand that eFolder's model is pretty simple. We provide a technical support to you as a service. Believe it or not, your contract and your payment to eFolder is actually only for storage and licensing. We provide this as a service to you. We are available 24/7. After hours, we do have a on-call staff. We don't have manned phone. We don't man ourselves for around the clock. We rely on you as the partner to provide all of the first line support because your customers, or just that, they're your customers. You're our customer. You're our partner. We're here to support you. We don't know your customers' environments. There's just way too many of them. We don't have access to your customers contractually. We can't even talk to your customers. So it's very important that you learn as an eFolder partner, your staff, how to use our software and our services so that you can provide the best support to your customers first before you come to us. Not that we're not here to help, it's just that we rely on you to be that first line of support. eFolder provides both instructor-led and self-paced training through our training department for all of our products. The material is available for you and your staff, and we want to make sure that you get it, that you're trained, that if you are a Shadow Protect partner, that you know how to use Shadow Protect and our online backup manager so that you can get the data where you want it to go. If you're a Replibit partner, then we want you to understand Replibit. I understand that training is something that is very hard to fit into one's day. We have the same problem, but it will help you be successful and self-sufficient when it comes to dealing with your customers. Next slide. We're going to go over some of our common technical support issues that we see, starting with frustration. Well, it's not, the support issue isn't frustration, but part of our job is we want to eliminate the frustration. And most of the frustration that we see are felt by our partners feel are because, one, either they don't understand the product, they've rushed into it, they are trying to get their customers' backups running so that they're secure, that in the knowledge that their data is available whenever they need it. Without that training that we talked about, it's going to make the frustration level even greater because we are going to talk about things and ask you questions that are going to, if you don't have the training, if you don't have the background, it's going to be difficult to answer, and then we're going to get off on a bad foot, and we could get off on a bad foot, and we will either, get frustrated or you can get frustrated, and that's what we're trying to alleviate. Another support issue that we have is unrealistic expectations. We have some partners, that haven't been through the training and haven't been through the webinar. They think that they can call in and we can do everything for them. And I want to set it straight up front that, like we said, your first level support, we want you to be trained. We want to help you with your customers. So don't expect us to just come in and do everything. We may send you a KB. We may send you a document. We may tell you how to do something. But at that point, we expect you to do it because ultimately, like I said, you have to get into your own customers' computers and do what needs to be done. The second piece of the frustration level or the support issues that we see is inadequate information. The other day, a ticket came in and it said, help. All I had was the guy's email and the word help. And at that point, I know that there's something wrong, but I don't know what product it is. I don't know what the problem is. We can't help you be successful if we don't know what the information is. And that leads us into the next slide, which is how to open a support ticket. The first thing that we really, really want you to do is to attempt to fix the issue yourself. Once you've attempted, you have a good idea of what the issue is, and then you can come to us if you don't know the fix. And so we want you to make sure to collect all relevant information needed. We want to know what troubleshooting steps you did. We want to know, and that's prior to calling us. If you can, please get us the correct steps. Please have all of the documentation for your products available for your customer. We need to know what customer it is. once you have picked up all the information, there's two different ways that you, or multiple ways that you can get open a support ticket. The first way is to, of course, email us at support@efolder.net, and that will directly open a ticket, and we'll be able to help you out. You can call us at the number listed on the slide, 800-352-0248, option 2, option 1, and that will get you directly into the main support queue. We have a group of individuals in our support that answer the phones. If they're all on the phone, we do now have a phone service that the phones roll over to, and they will open the ticket. They will ask the same questions that we will ask. Who is the, who's the customer? What is the account ID? Those pieces of information that we really need. The third option is to log into the partner portal. The partner portal has a form, and the link is on the slide, and you can click there, and you're going to get a copy of the slides, and you'll be able to click on it. The URL is, let me pull it up, I just got it, is www.efolder.net/help, and that'll take you directly to the form to open up a ticket. The only required pieces of information, we want as much information as you can give us, but the only required information that you won't be able to submit the ticket is without a callback telephone number and your name and email. We want to know all troubleshooting information that you did, and we need to know what the severity of the call is. We'll get into our SLA and what the severities are on a later slide. And then whoever the technician is, it's very important that you provide us with enough time to work the issue. We have had a number of times where the person would call in, they ask for support, and they're the only ones in the office, and they're answering the phones, and we just can't help you at that point. At that, we're going to reschedule. We're going to say, we need your dedicated information, your dedicated time to be able to help you with your issue. So, what are the correct pieces of information that we want on the ticket? We want the account username or the account number and the customer name. So if you haven't seen the partner portal, and I don't have a slide of that, that's trained in one of our training sessions, and we also will show you how to do that. There's an account number and a username. The username is what is generally used on our online backup manager. Without those two pieces of information, we're flying blind. You can also give us the customer name. Your brand will help. If you don't use the online backup manager, and sometimes you'll hear us reference it as OBM for short. It's not official name, but that's what we call it. If you don't use that, you may have Aperture, you may have Replibit, then we need your core or storage node name or your vault. Those are terms that you'll hear. So please, please, please provide those pieces of information for the ticket. We need any Windows of NIDs, if applicable. The Windows IDs will give us a starting point to know whether it's an operating system issue or if it's an issue with the actual software or not. And then we need to know any other details that you can supply. Please remember, as much information as you provide us, the faster we can provide you with a fix. We want to, if there's any environmental conditions, server went down because the building flooded. That actually happened in Missouri, etc. Some common ticket types that we have that come in, or common ticket types, I don't have anything there, for our products. So when we get tickets in, it's going to be for one of our products. I mean, you're not going to call us for something that we don't support. And our tickets include Anchor, backup for file and folder. We've shortened the name to backup. Cloud Finder for email or for, let me rephrase that, Cloud Finder for our cloud-based backups ability. So Office 365, Google, we can back up directly cloud to cloud. And then we have our various BDR flavors, Acronis, Aperture, Replibit, Shadow Protect, and Veeam. So when you open a ticket, please let us know what product it is that you are backing up. Let us know what the issue is, the types of tickets that we get. We get no current backups. We get down servers. We get hardware issues with our BDRs. We do sell BDR. Restoration and virtualization in both an emergency and non-emergency fashion. And another quick tip, yeah, this is a good one. For customer service type tickets, we get a lot of tickets in support for customer service. We're having issues with our billing, we're having issues with our licensing. If you use the partner portal, please change the type of ticket to the actual either product or issue you're having. There is a separate ticket queue for Aperture, Acronis, Shadow Protect, everybody. And then we also have a separate one for customer service issues. That way, if you have gotten a bill that you don't want, the bill will go directly to them. It won't come to support and sit until we send it over to the billing department, and then they fix it, and then you're frustrated again. And it's really, really, really important. We really want to keep everybody's frustration down and make you successful. All righty, next slide. Disaster recovery. Everybody has them. That's why you would be doing this. Critical or disaster recovery situations consist of complete service outages, server down restores, server virtualizations. It can also include lost data restoration, anchor sync issues that severely affect production. It's real hard when you have the anchor product to call in with a critical ticket because you're not syncing. Well, if a whole company isn't syncing or there's something definitely wrong, that is definitely critical because you can't share your data. It's not like you have a server down issue, but it is considered a critical issue. I will tell you right now that we will, in the event of a critical ticket coming in that says our backups are not working, according to our SLAs and eFolder, and we'll get to that slide here shortly, a customer's backup not happening is not a critical issue. And the reason I say that is we have a lot of those kind of tickets come in after hours. We consider a server down disaster recovery type situation as a critical ticket. During a disaster recovery situation, we will contact you within 60 minutes of ticket creation. We're very, very good at it. Once we have triaged the issue, we will assist you in fixing the issue or provide the materials for you to fix it yourself. Again, that is our way of making you self-sufficient. Setting expectations. Communication is very important, and this is why we're giving you our priorities. We want you to understand what the expectations are, and we want to know what your expectations are. When you sign a contract with eFolder, you're signing that you're going to be, giving us storage or using our products, and part of that is that you're going to be the support piece. Now, this is our SLA. This SLA is published on our partner portal. It is also published on our ticketing system. If you go into the ticketing system, this is right there for you to pick as a priority. 90% of our tickets that come in are medium tickets. The response time on the priorities on our SLA do not mean we're going to have it fixed within that time frame. That means that is the response time. If you put in a ticket in a high severity, we will contact you within 4 hours. Again, 99% of the time, we will contact you within 15 minutes. I had a partner call in the other day with or put in a ticket, and we called them back within 15 minutes. That's because we try to knock these out and get you fixed. There's our definitions. Critical, significant issue impacts business and interferes with normal operations. Believe it or not, we have gotten critical billing tickets. I understand, and we understand in eFolder, that your definition of critical may be different than our definition of critical, and being billed double for an account is critical to you. But it's not something that we're going to attack at 2 a.m. So please, we ask you not to put in a critical ticket at 2 a.m. Another issue we have is what we call line jumping. Very, very important. If you put in a ticket, please understand the severities. We will contact you within 1 business day for a medium issue. Medium issue being my backup doesn't work. There is no impact to business. Everything's working fine. Or if it's, something that's a repeated issue like backups failing, you just can't make it work. Then you can go up to high. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, line jumping. If you put in a medium ticket, please understand the severity, the response time. We will contact you within a normal time period. Within 1 business day, normally less than that. We don't want you to put in a ticket and then call us 10 minutes later and expect to have somebody able to work on you. We're on the phone all of the time. Our normal business hours are between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern. That way we can get most of the Mountain and West Coast folks. We just don't have anybody in California right now that can work the extra hour, except for our anchor folks. We have somebody there all the time. Again, low is 2 business days, and then normally you designate that as a low. If you put in a ticket and you don't change the severity, this happened last week, and a partner got very, very irate and unhappy. They put in a ticket. They didn't know to change the severity. It was a server down issue. They called us because we didn't call them in a few hours, and he said, why in the bad word is this not a critical issue? Well, because you didn't make it a critical issue. And we explained how to do the portal and escalate the ticket. You can also call in to the number listed and escalate the ticket as well. The engineer that'll take the ticket's going to triage it, and then you're going to see we have had critical tickets come in on a weekend because backup's not working or something is happening. We'll triage it and we'll tell you that there isn't anybody available till Monday morning. Because you have good backups locally, it just may not be in the cloud. Ticket escalation, that's where that next slide comes into. We understand your problems are considered serious to you. We want to alleviate the frustration. I'm confused here. If you escalate the ticket, we will contact you. We will discuss the ticket. We want to alleviate your frustration, and we will help you. If it's not critical, we will contact you and we will tell you it's not critical. We're going to try to call you on each ticket we can. Sometimes we get a very easy ticket and we'll send you the KBs. That's because we expect you to do the first part of the work. Ticket escalation will only be done for critical and disaster recovery situations. So if you call in and say, my backups aren't working, this is critical, we're going to tell you it's not. Server down restores and server virtualizations are. It also can include lost data. So if you have a customer that just got the crypto virus and you don't know how to restore something, we'll help you. Issues determined to be non-critical after triage will be reduced. So if you see that we've taken your high ticket or your critical ticket and it's not critical, we will reduce it to a medium and we'll then follow that SLA. Some more tips from us that we came up with, and we can discuss these as we go. During all support calls, especially when we are remoted into your customer systems, you cannot leave. We require, because of HIPAA and other regulations that we have to meet, we have to have somebody on the phone. Even if you don't have a customer that's a medical facility, our data center and our data is protected under HIPAA and other boss leaks. Yeah, I don't even know how to say that one. There's other regulations. So when we remote into your customer systems, your engineer or technician responsible for the call must be present on the phone and remoted in at all times. The customer belongs to you, the partner, and not eFolder. We will not put ourselves in a position of liability by remoting into a system without the partner present. We also have regulatory statutes such as HIPAA that require you to be present. We will postpone the support call if you are unable to be on the call with us. There have been times where where a partner has asked us to talk to the customer. Very rarely will we do that. Understand that that is what the account manager is for, is to talk to you and to you'd be the face of eFolder at that point. Most partners want to hide their customers from us, so we don't talk to the customers. It's very rare. I've done it twice in 3 years that I've worked with eFolder, and that's because the customer needed reassurance of an issue. We do not schedule support calls outside of the standard support hours of 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern under any circumstance. When I say any circumstance, we can make engineers available if you're willing to pay at the going rate. What that rate is, I don't know, but I know we have worked that way in the past. If you need to do a migration or something and you just haven't done the work before on doing a restore or something, we will help you, but you're going to have to pay for it. We wish that all communications be professional. We know there's situations, and in a critical situation, that people get frustrated, their anxiety levels rise. If we aren't able to come up with an immediate answer because we have to research it, if it's something new that pops up, it's going to cause a high level of anxiety. And I'll tell you right now, if the caller starts cussing and is not professional, we will hang up on you and we will call the manager and we will ask to work with somebody else unless that person can be calmed down. Yelling at your support engineer will not help the situation. It will make it worse. Remember, you may have called us after many hours of troubleshooting, and we are aware, and we don't know what you did. So if we start asking questions and you say, I've been doing this for 24 hours and I just can't get it to work and it's just not going anywhere, it's like, okay, what was it that you've done? Let's talk calmly, and let's figure out what we need to do to get it fixed. Last thing I wanted to bring up is surveys. When we close a ticket at the end, and let's go over a couple of, these are additional tips. When you open a ticket, our normal ticket life, we try not to keep a ticket open for longer than 8 days. The ticket is, unless it's been escalated to one of the vendors, because we have to send it to eFolder, to StorageCraft or Anchor, Acronis, etc. Then we'll go, we'll mark it as being escalated. When you open a ticket, we want to get them done as quickly as possible. We don't want them to get stagnant and sit in our ticket queues forever. So we will, after a couple of days, if there's been no movement on the ticket, we're going to send you a notice. Hello, are you ready to work on the ticket? If you are, or do you have an update for the ticket? Because there's times when we send you what to do and we're going to say, we need an update on the ticket. Can you please provide us an update? At that point, we're going to wait another 24 hours, and we're going to send you a notice. It's a 24-hour notice. The 24-hour notice is going to basically say, this ticket's been open for this long. We need to know a status. If we don't hear from you within 24 hours, the ticket's going to automatically close and it's going to go away. We do that just because we have so much going on and so many partners that we need to keep our ticket queues in a manageable fashion. The last ticket, or we close tickets two different ways. We can close that, we will close them or we will resolve them. Both will send you a survey at the end of the time. The survey, and this is another thing that most people don't understand, is for us to be better to work with you, all right? It gives us feedback. Please don't rate the survey on the product. Remember, we support a product that we didn't write. It was, you know, like Shadow Protect. We didn't do that. All we're doing is supporting it. We're reselling it for StorageCraft. We have no control over their product. The only one we have control over is our own online backup manager. So if you do the survey, please do it on the engineer, how well he did. Give valid and constructive criticism if need be, and rate them as to how good they provided you service. There's 5 categories, or there's 5 rating scales. There's five questions that you rate on a scale of 1 to 5, and then there's a spot for questions. That comes on the last email that we send you when we close the ticket out. And we, those, by the way, those go all the way up to our CEO, and he reads every single one of those surveys. So it's very important that you keep us at our best support level for you. So let us know if there's something we need to fix, or if there's something that you need addition, or that we can do to make it better for you. And that's pretty much it, Courtney. I mean, we've been through the slides.
Yes, great. Thank you so much, Tom. That was very, very valuable and informative. So now I'd like to open up the floor for anyone to ask any questions. I've gotten a couple throughout. Let me see if I can pull them up. Let's see here. Okay. So one of our questions, Tom, could you please share a real instance where you had to virtualize someone's servers in the cloud, and how long did that process take?
We have, I don't know that it's in the partner portal someplace, but in the cloud in a DR situation, we have what we call idle continuity cloud nodes. If you have an emergency situation, and in fact, I'm going to use one as an example that happened a couple of years ago, right before Christmas. A bakery burnt to the ground, and their servers went with it, and we had to help the partner virtualize it in the cloud. We provision a node. The node consists of a virtual machine, or it's a machine in our data center, and we put them in the same data center as your data. So we don't have to, because we have multiple data centers, we don't want to have to copy it across the WAN. So we have 4 hours to get you a node. We usually get it done within an hour immediately, because we have nodes sitting idle for DR situations. In the event that there are not enough nodes in a DR situation, disaster recovery situation, any nodes that are being used as test nodes will be taken, and that partner will be given the option to use their free test later down the road. So what's going to happen is you get the node, you're going to get the documentation, we're going to send you the credentials to get into it, you're going to RDP to it. At that point in time, it's 100% up to you. If you want assistance, you can ask for assistance if you haven't done it before. All of the virtualizations, all of the restorations are done exactly the same way as you would do it if you did it in the partner's office or your office. It's not any different. The only piece that's different is there's a firewall between you and the virtualized systems that you bring up. So I'm the Shadow Protect lead, so I can talk Shadow Protect. You're going to restore the data. You're going to run VirtualBox. You're going to virtualize it. And you're going to have a firewall. It's a virtual firewall. We use pfSense. At that time, you can set up a OpenVPN connection to it. You can set up a terminal server in behind that firewall. You can use, one of the servers that they actually get into. You can also set up a site-to-site IPsec VPN. Understand that if you set up the IPsec site-to-site VPN, it is 100% up to you to set up your side of it. We'll help you set up the pfSense side of it, but we don't know, some of us have had firewall experience, but we don't know every firewall and every version of the software that's out there. So we can't help you with your side. We can make it so that you have the tools to connect to it from your side. Hopefully you have firewall experts. So you can open up an site-to-site VPN. Generally, we'll have you up and running within 4 hours or less, provided you're not, restoring multiple terabytes of data. Does that answer the question?
I think so. That was a great answer. Thanks, Tom. Another one just came in. Would my account manager also be able to help me with technical support? No, they won't, and this is very important, and one of the tips that I neglected to put on there, we ask that you don't go to your account manager for technical support. If you need technical support, you need to come to support. The AEMs are not technical. They will help you with billing issues. Now, if you have a billing, licensing, you go to them. If you need a new product, you go to them. If you want to buy a BDR, you go to them. That's what the account manager is for. If you need support and you don't know how to get to support, you can ask them those questions. But please, they're not technical. For the most part, they will not be able to answer your questions. And if you go to them and ask them, can you open a ticket for me, which we have had happen, it just causes you frustration because it takes longer for the ticket to get to us and worked on. Next. Great. Next question. Does anyone in support speak other languages other than English?
Not well. Some of us are passing at Spanish or the Hispanic language, but that is it at the moment. We speak Canadian. It's a joke, sorry. No, we do have some cloud finder. Nope, they don't have them either. We do have. We don't have support in foreign countries yet. We have discussed adding support members in Europe, but that hasn't happened yet. And when it happens, we'll let everybody know down the road. But no, we basically support English-speaking countries at the moment.
Okay, great. So does that mean, I just had another question come in, is the response time the same for partners outside of the U.S.? So that would be, I guess, for Canada, if we do support for UK as well. Does it apply, the same rules apply to them?
The same rules apply. Like I said, we are available 24/7, so we will have you covered 24/7. Even with, I mean, we've had Australia call in, we've had the UK, we've had tickets come in, and we will support you within those SLAs. So if you have a critical issue, we will contact you, we will get a hold of you within those SLAs. Yes, we do honor those.
Okay, great. Another question, do you ever have the chance to visit any of eFolder's data centers?
I have not. Some of my network engineers do. For those who don't know where those data centers are, there is one in Utah, Salt Lake City. There's one at Atlanta. There is one in Canada, and I don't remember where it is. And then we have one in Amsterdam.
The Canadian one is in Kelowna.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
That helps. But no, I have not. But they are very impressive. They're, on tier 2 backbones. They're, they got a lot of bandwidth. a lot of security. They're caged racks, behind concertina wire in the middle of basements, that type of thing.
Oh, yeah. I would like to visit one someday. Sounds pretty cool. Does anyone have any more questions? I just kind of exhausted the ones that came in the queue. Now is your chance. Give you a couple more minutes, and then if not, we will sign off.
Notes right quick just to see if there's anything that I missed. No, I don't really see anything else that I've missed. Any more questions?
I don't see any more questions coming in, but I think
Anybody who has any more questions, you can call support at that number at any time, and then we will talk to you. One of the things that I did miss on the training slide under my talking notes is that we don't necessarily do training. We do continuing education. So like we had said at the beginning, we expect everybody to get trained, go through the training classes. Your onboarding representative and your sales engineers will help you get that all set up. And then once you're trained, we will provide you with additional education, especially if things change. So when you call in, we may walk you through how to do something if you've never done it, because let's face it, there's book work and then there's a actual hands-on experience. So we're not going to just throw a bunch of stuff at you and say do it without some kind of guidance. If you haven't done it, we're definitely going to show you how to do it. We may show you a couple times. When it gets past that, it starts getting a little old and we feel taking advantage of, because either one, you're not learning, or two, you just don't want to do the work yourself and you expect us to do it for you. So that's kind of, we will provide additional guidance on how to do restores and how to do backups and how to set up the software. We also stress greatly that you use our resources. We have a very large knowledge base. We have documentation that was written by actual experts in there. I've written a couple of them. Some of our other team leads have written a couple of them. We will help with anything to do with your backups. And that's.
I had a couple more questions come in, Peter, Tom, while you're talking. This one's from Peter. Where can I learn how to set up and use eFolder backup?
Where can you learn? Okay, so you can contact your AEM. You can contact training@efolder.net and set up a training session. You can also go to our partner portal if you are a contracted partner, and there's a best practices guide there which gives you step-by-step how to set it up based on our best practices and how we set up our BDRs.
Great.
So it's on the partner portal. If you go to the partner portal and you go to support and you go to Partner Center, and I'm not logged in. You got to be logged in, so that's important. So you have to have an account. It's down under the partner program, the partner documentation, and under BDR for Shadow Protect in this case, because most of the backups happen with Shadow Protect. You can do file and folder, and there's a separate one for that as well. But our best practices guide is first the Shadow Protect side. There's one for each one. But yeah, on the partner portal, you can get the documentation. If you haven't had the training, I stress you get the training.
Okay, great. And then one more question. Is support available for partners who are only trialing products?
Normally, support for trialing partners or partners who are trialing products will go through the sales engineers. The sales engineers have been trained on our products, and if they need additional support, they will come to us. If the sales engineer is not available We will assist on a case-by-case basis. We will turn nobody away. Let's face it, we want your business, so we're going to help you. But the first line of support for trial partners is to go through the sales engineer and that avenue.
Great. Okay. Well, if anybody else has any more questions, please submit them now. Otherwise, we're going to sign off and get working on getting you guys these slides in this recording so you can have it in your archives for future use. And hopefully everything today was super valuable and informative to you. We want to thank you guys very, very much for joining us today. Let's see here. Got one more thank you slide. That concludes our webinar for today. Like I just said, I'm going to be emailing the slide deck to all registrants, so please keep an eye out for that, a recording as well. And please don't hesitate to reach out to me or Tom with any questions that you might have. Thank you so much, Tom, for joining us today. It was really great to have you and
thank you for having me
about eFolder support.
I hope we've made things clearer so that we're all successful.
Yeah, me too. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Hope you have a good day. Bye.